City College. City College in the house? Woo-hoo! I see you. See you, Doctor. Okay. So we're just going to make sure that all our folks are here before we actually get the show on the road. So you can have a couple minutes to relax and get ready, and we're going to start with this cue. Very short. 1 minute.
坐響嗰度影晒啲相添喎。
That's from this mic.
喺邊好啊？
There's nothing from the line in.
But does somebody have to talk into it?
Yeah.
Okay, good news. The Chinese Progressive Association has taken another step forward in the 21st century. We have live streaming upstairs to the 5th floor. Yay! And so as more folks come in, and if it gets more crowded and people want to move to the upstairs, please take the stairs to the side and find the projector there. Can I ask all of our speakers, so Norman, Rajiv, if folks can come on board with a seat for you here. And there's even a thermos of hot tea already waiting for you. Okay, so quick announcement. It's like you're at the biggest rock show in Chinatown right now. There's a big line outside, people going around the building to get in. So we are going to wait a few more minutes because this is, after all, a press event, and there's some reporters who are still coming, and we want to make sure that they're here for it. So if folks are willing to be a little patient with us and give us a few more minutes before we start. And there is room upstairs again, so you can go through the back to the 5th floor if you feel crowded, and probably soon we're going to be just diverting people straight to the 5th floor so that it doesn't get more crowded in here. Okay, thank you.
餐馆薪水低，主要的原因。
Yeah. Oh, good.
最喜欢英语片，这样有机会。年龄上。小孩子。所以你需要找妈妈那种环境，不能老把自己讲广东话的。薪水太高会压低薪水，但是呢，你像这种项目，锻炼你的心理，学校有这个。
Hey, long time no see, neighbor. I know.
商业经济，社会。
Clear pathway down for the cameras.
想办法，确实来讲，我基本那个讲还是觉得很变，要克服自己，越变越。所以你更需要练习，突破自己到底会怎么样。在这个，这个是。上海调中大专但现在撤了，然后改到一个大学，有个好几个同学一开始在一个大学撤，然后就讲，尽管它不一定是要到100万，就是唯一发展的有些同学我见他们也来到这个，他们讲哎呀，这个荒凉的，特别金山你看过吗？
Okay, so last call, translation equipment, 翻译机, equipo de traducción, está a un lado. Room on the 5th floor, if you're feeling claustrophobic, there's room on the 5th floor and there's live streaming. And welcome everybody, we're going to get this show on the road.
Hello， 大家好，好歡迎你哋今日喺百忙中抽時間嚟呢個發佈會。
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend our press event today.
我個名叫阿雙，咁我係一個華人進步會委員會嘅會員。
My name is Asang, and I'm one of CPA's Worker Committee members.
當然我都係一個華務嘅餐館工人。
And of course, I also work in Chinatown restaurants.
我喺餐館工作過7年，每個星期工作6日，工作好辛苦啦，但每個月只係得900蚊嘅啫。
I worked in Chinatown restaurants for 7 years. It was really hard work. Every week, I worked 6 days a week. And yet, I only earned $900 a month.
我係遠遠低於最低工資㗎。加班費啊、其他福利醫療啊、福利啊，咁對於我哋嚟講係奢侈嘅。
Of course, $900 a month, that's far below the minimum wage in San Francisco. So things like overtime, health benefits, and other benefits, those were considered luxuries.
但係為咗喺美國生活，我冇得選擇。
But in order to survive in the United States, I had no choice.
今日同大家分享我哋嘅餐館調查結果，係因為經過調查發現，喺2010年仲有好多嘅餐館工人仍然喺血汗工廠嘅環境工作。
The reason we're here today to share with you our survey findings is this. In the year 2010, Chinatown restaurant workers are still working in sweatshop conditions.
咁喺過去幾年，華人進步會一直喺華務做緊工人嘅組織工作，主要係針對餐館黑過工資同埋違反勞工法嘅行為。
In the past several years, CPA has been organizing low-wage workers, particularly in the Chinatown restaurant industry, where their workers are experiencing wage theft and other illegal practices.
咁我哋決定同大學學者做一份工作嘅環境調查報告。
So we decided to do a research project with university partners on the working conditions in Chinatown.
咁工人委員會幫手設計調查問卷啦，同埋培訓工作調查人員啦。之後同433名工人進行咗當面嘅採訪。
So the worker committee of CPA developed the survey questionnaire, trained other worker surveyors, and conducted 433 interviews.
喺呢個調查嘅過程中，我哋覺得工人一定要企出嚟為自己爭取。
Through this process, we decided it is necessary that workers stand up for their rights.
咁今日呢個調查可以成功嘅，係要特別多謝17名調查員啦，同埋所有勇敢企出嚟參與調查嘅工人啦。當然仲有我哋嘅合作伙伴，同埋為咗呢個調查捐款嘅機構。
The success of this research project would not be possible without the 17 worker surveyors who conducted these interviews, the workers who themselves stood up to tell their stories in these interviews, the research partners, and the many groups that funded the project.
最後就係仲有我哋嘅工人委員會嘅委員。
And then I'd like to introduce, of course, our workers committee of CPA.
阿蘭啦、阿龍啦、阿冰、Michelle、金生，仲有我。咁今日有機會俾你哋喺呢度親身聽下餐館工人嘅故事啦，同埋合作伙伴啦、市參市啦，同埋我哋嘅盟友嘅意見嘅。
So today you'll have the opportunity to hear from workers themselves, from our research partners, from members of the Board of Supervisors, and community allies.
咁而家係由阿小三介紹我哋嘅合作伙伴啦，同埋我哋嘅盟友同埋市參市。
So I'd like to ask our research partners to come forward. So this research project was done in collaboration with UC Berkeley School of Public Health, San Francisco Department of Public Health, and the UC Berkeley Labor Occupational Health and Safety Program. And we're going to have our 3 representatives share a little bit of their thoughts about this survey project, starting with Dr. Rajiv Bhatia from the Department of Public Health in San Francisco.
Thank you so much. It's been a real privilege to be part of this project. I think it's not hard to understand that exploitation is unfair, that exploitation prevents us from having a sustainable economy. But we're here because exploitation also matters from a health perspective. Even louder, even closer to the microphone. So if people aren't paid wages, they can't buy food, they can't live in safe housing, they can't have time to spend with their children. That's bad for health, and we pay for that in our health centers and in our hospitals. When sick workers go to work sick, we get sick. Everyone gets sick, whether you live in Chinatown or you don't live in Chinatown. When injuries happen on the job and employers don't have workers' compensation, it's the public hospital system that takes care of that. That means we all pay. Finally, being exploited at work is humiliating. It's dehumanizing. That is bad for mental health and in so many ways. So the health department has skills and abilities and even a responsibility not to stand on the sidelines here. We need to figure out ways to help, and I think that's what we are starting to learn how to do through this project. The first way we can help is through research, and that's what we did with the checklist project. We used our ability to go into restaurants to look at hazardous working conditions, and to look to see whether the basics of the employer's responsibility were happening. We found that few restaurants had even posted the minimum wage and other legal requirements. We found hazards that were harmful to health abundant in restaurants. We can be the eyes and ears for health and safety problems and labor violations in restaurants. My inspectors are out in every restaurant in every part of the city. We don't necessarily have to enforce everything, but we can make referrals to enforcement agencies. My restaurant workers work in partnership with restaurants. In many cases where we find violations, we can help the employers to fix the conditions. We can provide the information they need to better enforce the law. We realize that most of the restaurants are not intentionally trying to break any laws. Finally, where we need to, we can use our enforcement powers. The Department of Public Health permits all of the restaurants in San Francisco. We have found that ability to permit can be a very strong stick to make sure that the restaurants do abide by the law. Last year, we started asking every restaurant who gets a permit from the San Francisco Department of Public Health prove to us that they have adequate workers' compensation. This year, we surveyed randomly 400 restaurants across the city, and we found that while many didn't have workers' compensation, we were able to compel 16 without workers' compensation to get workers' compensation, and we suspended the permit of one restaurant that refused to get workers' compensation. In cases of not paying wages, we've also been able to use our enforcement tools either to get the restaurants to do the right thing or to pay back wages. I want to recognize one final thing, that this is not a problem in Chinatown alone. This is a citywide problem, this is a statewide problem, and this is a national problem. The fact that you're having this press conference here in Chinatown doesn't reflect that it's a particular problem in Chinatown. It reflects that the people who you're seeing here are brave enough and have the foresight enough to begin to address the problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Dr. Meredith Minkner, the principal investigator of this study, to share a few words.
I am just delighted to be here on behalf of the researchers at UC Berkeley and UC San Francisco who were privileged and honored to co-conduct this study with and it is a landmark study, with our colleagues at CPA, at the Labor Occupational Health Program, at the Health Department, and most important, with the very dedicated workers without whom this study never could have taken place. This was, we believe, the largest study ever conducted in our country of and with low-wage restaurant workers, and the first such study in Chinatown. The research the research involved a carefully designed study of more than 400 workers. This was a survey conducted by the people standing in back of me and other Chinatown surveyors. at the same time, Dr. Bhatia mentioned the checklist. They went in, his health department inspectors went in to all but 2 of the 108 restaurants in Chinatown and did new inspections, not just from the point of view of the safety of the people who eat there, but of the workers who work there. That had not been done before. This whole study was done using an approach called community-based participatory research. And that's an approach where community members partner with the outside researchers, and they're active in every stage, from figuring out if the research questions are correct, to gathering the data, interpreting the data, and finally, most important, getting to where we are today, getting to the action phase where the findings are used to change programs, policies, and practices. The survey used many questions that had been rigorously studied in other research around the country, but we also added brand new questions that the workers came up with. We would not have had many of the right questions about wage theft if the workers hadn't told us how to ask those questions. We would not have had a question about whether non-smokers are called in early from their breaks. We wouldn't have asked whether non-smokers get called in early from their breaks and smokers are allowed to stay on breaks. This all came from the workers. So they absolutely shaped what this survey looked like, and because they were the ones going out and asking the questions, we did get an unprecedented number of respondents, more than 400 workers. We never expected to get that many immigrant, low-wage workers to participate in a long study like this one. I was asked to mention some of the findings, but I think we'll be talking more about them later. One I would highlight is not only do we see very high rates of illnesses and injuries on the job, but we learned in this survey that almost two-thirds of the workers have received no training on the job, making these conditions even worse. Well, let me just end by saying I am more grateful than I can say for the privilege of working with CPA, the other partners, and particularly the workers. And I thank all of you for being here on this historic day.
Thank you, Mary. Dr. Minkler is a world-renowned expert in health and equity, so we're really privileged to work with her. Thank you. And next, Pam, also world-renowned labor educator, and she's going to share a few words.
Hi, everybody. My name is Pam Tao Lee, and I was a project director for this, and I'm with the Labor Occupational Health Program. I want to be able to say that this report, this landmark report, paves the way for as a public health perspective, for really protecting residents in San Francisco. Public health, that should be a huge concern and a focus for the city leaders and our government officials for this city. One of the things that this report showed is that the health of the workers surveyed in San Francisco Chinatown was significantly lower than the general health in the United States. This is not appropriate. This needs to be changed. And what this report does is provides a pathway to that change. What we as public health people and the government officials should be out there doing is looking towards bills of worker rights in which workers that is a high priority, that workers receive decent wages on the job, that they deserve respect on the job, they have access to health care, and they also have a voice on the job. This is what we should learn from this report and be aggressive in going out there and making sure these issues are addressed and that the laws on the books are enforced for everyone, including residents and workers right here in San Francisco, Chinatown. The other thing that our government should do is address the issues of employment and that workers be able to advance in employment. When jobs goes overseas, our society should provide jobs. Those jobs that were lost to residents here in Chinatown, they should have access to good, decent, well-paying jobs that can provide for them and their families. This report provides a pathway for that. So, in closing, thank you very much to the Chinese Progressive Association for including us in this partnership, and good luck.
而家我想請一位曾經喺華埠工作過嘅餐館工人，同埋曾經遭遇過欠薪假，請佢講下自己嘅故事。佢叫阿華。
Next, I'd like to invite a worker who worked previously in Chinatown restaurants and experienced not being paid by her employer to share her personal story. Her name is Awa.
各位朋友，你哋好，我叫 Beatrice。 我今日係以一個 back pay 嘅受害者嚟出席呢個記者會。
Good morning, everyone. My name is Beatrice, and I am a victim of back wages participating in today's press conference.
喺6年前，我嚟到三藩市，喺一個中餐館度揾到一份派傳單嘅工作。
6 years ago, I immigrated to the United States, came to San Francisco, and found a job working as a leafletter, passing out flyers in Chinatown.
工作辛苦，風吹日曬雨淋。
The work was really hard in all kinds of weather, windy, rainy, sunny, hot. We were always out there passing out flyers.
我咁辛苦工作，但無良嘅僱主竟然拖欠我嘅薪金長達6個月之久。
I worked so hard, but my boss treated me very badly and didn't pay me for 6 months.
呢個造成咗我生活好大嘅壓力。喺我走投無路之下，我尋求揾到咗 CPA。
This really brought a lot of difficulty to my life, and when I really had no options left, I came to CPA for help.
我去抗議示威同去政府部門投訴，最終我一次過取得咗我所有嘅欠薪。
We had to go to the city, to government agencies, we protested, we took all kinds of action, and in the end, I was able to recover the wages owed to me.
我通過嗰次之後，我又參加咗職業培訓。我喺嗰個有工會嘅酒店嗰度揾到一份好好嘅工，嗰度有工會啦、合理嘅人工啦，同埋好優秀嘅福利。
So after that, I participated in a vocational training program, which allowed me to get a union job at a hotel where I was paid decent wages, had health benefits, and other benefits.
我喺呢度咧就想重申一次咧，政府部門同各界嘅僑團領袖咧，正視呢一個好嚴重嘅社會問題。
So I'm here to just really emphasize we need the city's leadership and all the government agencies to take stock and pay attention to this critical issue affecting workers.
同埋咧支持嗰啲合法嘅經營嗰個商家。
And to support those employers that are following the law and being responsible employers.
將我哋嘅三藩市、我哋嘅華埠建設得更加繁榮同美好。
That will allow Chinatown and San Francisco to thrive and be more prosperous.
多謝你。
So we've heard from some workers, we've heard from our research partners, and now we'd like to invite Supervisor for District 3, David Chu, to come share a few words in reaction to these findings.
Thank you.
We're having a translation problem. Los que hablan español, los equipos no están funcionando. Si pueden venir para acá y vamos a traducción en vivo.
Thank you all for being part of this incredibly historic announcement. First of all, I want to just tell you, I was recently briefed about these statistics, and my first reaction was I couldn't believe them. These numbers are outrageous, and frankly, they are criminal. 50% of these workers not being paid minimum wage. 48% of these workers who have suffered burn injuries. 5% of these workers who receive a living wage, and 3% of these workers who receive employer health care. From my perspective, this is a historic announcement really for two reasons. We know that in the 19th century, Upton Sinclair wrote a book called The Jungle. And that book started a national conversation about what we needed to do for workers in this country and what we need to do to move our labor standards forward. I think this study is going to have that effect here in San Francisco, here in Chinatown, and hopefully here in the United States. I want to say something very briefly to the business community. As someone who started and ran a small business, we all know, the elected officials who are here, all of us here in this room, how difficult our economy is right now. We're in the worst recession since the Great Depression. But all that being said, we also know that there are small businesses that are doing the right thing, that are paying workers the wages that they deserve, that are providing the benefits that they deserve. And there are small businesses, though, that are taking advantage of a situation and unfairly competing. And what we need to have a dialogue about is how to make sure that all of our businesses, all of our small businesses, all of our restaurants do the right thing. I am here, obviously, from the Board of Supervisors, along with my colleagues, Supervisor Campos, Supervisor Avalos, and Supervisor Marr, and it occurred to me as I was sitting with them, the four of us, we represent the class of 2008. We are all the children and grandchildren of immigrants, and we are all here because we believe to our core that this situation needs to change. But I want to say that regardless of what we're doing at City Hall, what's more important, I think, is the fact that all of you are here together. We are here representing many ethnicities, representing many experiences, immigrant and citizen experiences, representing what I think is so special about Chinatown and San Francisco and California. And I want you to know that I know that my colleagues at the board, we're going to do everything we can to figure out how we can change the dialogue and how we can make sure that these atrocities, hopefully after today, become part of history and not part of our future. Thank you for being part of this.
而家我想請我哋嘅工人委員會嘅會員同大家解釋下我哋嘅調查結果。
Next, we'd like to ask two of our work committee members to share the survey findings with you.
有請阿冰同埋阿龍。
大家好，我叫阿冰。咁我亦係一個餐館工人，我嚟美國10年，在喺餐館做咗10年。
Hello everyone, my name is Abing and I worked in the Chinatown restaurants for 10 years and I'm still working in the restaurants today.
我從頭到尾都參與呢個調查，我之所以參加呢個調查，係因為我6年前都喺航空部做過餐館。
I participated in this research project from start to finish and I got involved because 6 years ago I was working in the Chinatown restaurants.
咁佢哋好多係唔公平啊，俾人剝削啊，用整個辦法啊去操分工人工資嘅情況係好普遍嘅。
And in Chinatown restaurants, there's a lot of unfair working conditions, low wages, and various ways that the boss comes up with to steal workers' money.
所以我參加呢個調查，我就想將呢個結果去公佈俾大家聽，希望得到社會各界人士嘅支持同埋去改變呢個現象。
And we're here today to share these findings in hopes that it will push the community and the city to take responsibility and address these problems.
我哋嘅調查結果就係有啲係經營係合法，但好多係用危險啊、唔健康嘅手法嚟經營，係嚴重危害社會嘅健康嘅。
In our survey, we found that while there's some restaurants who are following the law, many more are engaging in illegal and irresponsible practices that harm the health and well-being of workers and the community.
比如有一半嘅工人係得唔到最低人工，76%嘅工人係冇加班費。
For example, half of the workers we surveyed were not receiving the minimum wage in San Francisco. 76% were not getting paid overtime pay for overtime hours worked.
佢哋有2/5嘅人5/2係每個星期跳過40個鐘，1/5係每個星期跳過60個鐘嘅。
2/5 of the workers were working over 40 hours a week, and 1/5 of the workers were working over 60 hours a week.
仲有雜糧欠薪啊、攝事啊呢種現象係好普遍嘅喺全國。咁喺68%嘅工人報稱佢哋喺2個星期前咧係俾人盜取工資嘅。
We also found all different types of illegal wage deductions, late pay, and other illegal pay practices, which reflect national studies that have found 68% of low-wage workers reported experiencing wage theft in the preceding pay period.
咁工人嘅工作嘅環境係好危險啦，同埋嘅壓力就好大啦。
And then we also found workers were working in very hazardous and stressful work environments.
比如有40%嘅工人咧係冇食飯同埋要息時間。
40% of workers were not getting any kind of meal or rest breaks.
42%嘅人係俾上司、同事或者係顧客辱罵嘅。
And 42% of the workers said they were yelled at by their boss, coworker, or client.
And 64%嘅人咧係冇接受咗任何嘅職業培訓。
And 64% of the workers had not received any kind of job training whatsoever.
有一半嘅工人咧係做喺工作中係受傷嘅，喺廚師有80%嘅人咧係燙傷。
We also found high rates of injury. For example, 80% of the cooks were burned. And next, we'd like to have Anon share more of his story.
大家好，我又係華埠嘅餐館工人。咁我喺華埠餐館工作已經16年啦，而家仲做緊。餐館係一個非常辛苦嘅工作。由於成日要企啦，咁我左腳已經企到傷咗啦。咁而家連長工都唔能夠做。
So, my name is Anon, and I've worked in Chinatown for 16 years. The work is very hard, and you're standing on your feet all day. And because of all these years of hard work, I have extensive damage to my leg, and I'm not able to stand for long periods. So I can only work part-time jobs now, not full-time jobs.
因為我冇醫療保險，所以我又唔敢睇醫生。因為昂貴嘅醫藥費我根本俾唔起嘅。
And because I don't have health insurance, I don't know that I can't go to see the doctor because I don't have money to pay the doctor.
希望社會各界人士多啲關注下華埠工人嘅情況啦，共同改善下呢個唔公平嘅待遇。
So we hope society, the community, and the government will pay attention to these problems and work together to solve them.
而家我講下工人，我哋調查嗰個工人健康嗰個結果。工人咧個身體咧條件比全國亞洲人平均係標準差咗3倍嘅。
I want to talk a little bit about the findings around worker health. We found that workers' health was 3 times worse than the national average.
如果佢哋請病假咧，有42%嘅工人嘅工資會被扣除，呢個係違反三藩市有薪條例嘅。
42% of workers had pay deducted if they took time off sick, in violation of San Francisco's paid sick leave law.
81%嘅人冇獲得有薪嘅假期。
And 81% of workers did not have any paid vacation.
54%係自己要俾醫療費嘅，只有3%嘅僱主提供醫療保險。
54% of workers were paying out of pocket for health care, and only 3% had employer-provided coverage.
呢個對社區好嚴重嘅影響。
This has a big impact on the community and on society.
如果呢個指算係違反最低工資行為，華埠餐館工人每年損失估計接近800萬美元嘅工資。
Just counting minimum wage violations alone, Chinatown restaurant workers are estimated to lose $8 million a year.
95%嘅工人並沒有獲得可維生嘅工資。
95% of workers are earning below a living wage.
68%感到工作環境冇咩保障。
68% workers feel that their job is insecure.
雖然接近一半44%係工人，有超過76%嘅工人，佢哋從未有參與過競選投票。
Even though nearly half of the workers we surveyed are U.S. citizens, 3/4 of them, 76%, had never voted.
只有5%嘅工人曾經出席過社區嘅會議。
And only 5% had ever attended a community meeting.
多謝大家。
Thank you.
今日我哋唔係叫你哋嚟，就係話有傷心有呢啲問題嘅存在，因為有問題嘅存在，總有解決嘅辦法。
So we're not here today just to tell you how bad things are and how many problems there are, because where there's a problem, there also is a solution. So we're here to tell you how we think we can solve it.
而家我想請金先生同埋 Michelle 講下我哋應該點樣去解決而家呢個問題嘅存在。
And so I'm going to invite Mr. Gan and Michelle to come forward and share how they think we can solve these problems.
或者有人會講，我哋揭露咗咁多呢啲唔公平嘅形象，冇咩辦法解決，會喪失信心。但係我想同佢講，佢哋呢種諗法係消極嘅。以我自己嘅例子做例子嚟講。
A lot of you might be thinking, oh, these are a lot of injustices, there's a lot of problems. There's no way to actually change them. Well, I'm here to say that's not the right way to see things, and I am an example of how it's wrong.
我喺08年嘅5月份喺新灣山嘅工人新灣山雞鴨店嗰度做嘢，老闆俾個工資係唔夠6蚊雞，而且仲要拖欠我2個月嘅工資。後嚟我喺華人進步會嘅幫助之下，同埋社區團體媒體嘅大力支持、盟友嘅支持，包括市參市嘅關心，呢個問題終於都得到解決，追翻咗所有嘅被老闆欠嘅工資。
In 2008, I worked at the Nuansang Poultry Market here in Chinatown. I earned less than $6 an hour, and on top of that, the boss decided to not pay me for over 2 months. This problem, I came to CPA for help, and with their support and the support of the media, of community allies, and also the attention of members of the Board of Supervisors, we were able to fight for these wages, and I recovered every penny I was owed.
呢個好關鍵就係要企出嚟抗爭，要鬥爭，要勇敢地維護自己嘅權益。
This proves that we can solve things if we have courage, if we stand up, and if we fight for our rights. I'd like to now share with you what are the key recommendations from our report.
第一點就係我哋要召開社區嘅相關利益會議，一起探討我哋發展社區健康嘅職業同埋健康嘅社區。
So first, we are calling for community dialogue to hold roundtables with stakeholders in the community about how we can create healthy jobs and healthy communities. CPA has actually already begun the process of meeting with employers, workers, and community leaders, and we can plan to continue that.
第二咧就係加強執行勞工法，建立健康嘅條例同埋執法行動。
Secondly, we need to strengthen the enforcement of labor, health, and safety laws here in San Francisco. And I'm just going to add that the ways we think we can do that is shifting strategies, because we're working in a new economy, and our enforcement systems were designed for a very different economy. It's time to switch strategies to match the prevalence of low-wage working conditions and violations. Needs to have a new strategy that's proactive, that partners with community organizations, that has new enforcement mechanisms, and increased funding for bilingual investigators.
有力咁增強發展華埠嘅健康經濟條例及負責任嘅僱傭措施同埋投資。
The third point is that we need to significantly increase investments to economic development in Chinatown for healthy economic development and to support responsible employment practices. Ideas we have include creating community job programs, ensuring that city-funded projects have high labor standards, and funding promotion and marketing programs to support small businesses that are doing the right thing.
第四點咧就係解決移民工人高失業率嘅問題，同時減少就業嘅機會及困難嘅就業環境。
The fourth point is that we need to seriously address the astronomical rate of unemployment in immigrant communities and other communities facing barriers to employment.
希望大家都行動起嚟，配合我哋一齊去建立一個健康嘅環境。
So we hope everyone will come join us in this path to creating healthy jobs and healthy communities in Chinatown. So I just want to note that there's a lot of folks here today from different government agencies. I believe there's representatives from San Francisco Office of Labor Standards Enforcement. There's representatives from the Department of Public Health. There's representatives from the District Attorney's Office. There's representatives from the Federal Department of Labor and the State Labor Department. And we are glad you're here today to hear the recommendations from the workers and to be able to take them back to your agencies and see how we can move them forward. Next, I'd like to invite Supervisors Eric Marr and David Campos to come forward. And talk about how we're working together and with the community to address this problem.
Thank you. Let me start by saying that I've never been prouder to be an active member of the Chinese Progressive Association, and I know my brother Gordon is here and a number of the founders as well, but CPA really has worked with so many allies to create action research at its best, and I see on the shirts from the worker organizers and leaders, we're talking about educating, organizing, and empowering, but the research here today is really about the voices and the suggestions and the demands of workers. I also wanted to say that this is bringing back flashbacks to my time as a busboy in a Chinese restaurant as well. And it's shameful and outrageous that in 2010 we have a low road of exploitation in our restaurants in Chinatown, but also in other neighborhoods throughout San Francisco and throughout the country as well. I just wanted to say that as one of the 11 members of the Board of Supervisors, I'm proud to be working with Hillary Ronan of David Campos' office and David Campos and Lin Xiaoqing as well in my office to really bring forward legislation that's from the grassroots and the voices and the organizing of the workers of the Chinese Progressive Association and other grassroots groups as well. So I'm very proud to be here, to be fighting for a high road economy where workers' rights are dignified and that we continue to organize for a better society. Thank you so much, CPA, and all the allies from the Alliance for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to Supervisor Marr for his leadership on this issue. Let me say this, I came to this country as an immigrant, and I remember when my parents had to work 2 jobs, often making minimum wage, but oftentimes not getting paid minimum wage, and how scary it was for them to actually raise their voices, to actually say something is wrong. So the first thing that I want to do today is to acknowledge the courage of these workers who were not afraid to speak out. Thank you so much. Quisiera simplemente agradecerle a los trabajadores, porque yo me acuerdo como inmigrante cuando mis padres trabajaban 2 trabajos y a veces les pagaban minimum wage, pero a veces no se les pagaba. Qué difícil como trabajadores hablar acerca de eso y el miedo que uno tiene. Así que gracias a los trabajadores que dieron sus voces y dieron esa información tan importante. Muchas gracias. We heard from President Chu, we heard from Supervisor Marr. I also want to acknowledge Supervisor John Avalos, who's here, who's a friend and a fighter for workers in San Francisco. I also want to acknowledge all the organizations that have been a part of this movement, the San Francisco Progressive Workers Alliance. I think it's important for us to acknowledge them. Of course, we heard about the tremendous work that CPA has done, but also La Raza Centro Legal, the Gay Labor Program and Women's Collective, the Filipino Community Center, Young Workers United, Pride and Warmth, there is an LGBT component here, People Organized to Win Employment Rights, Power, Power in the House, Mujeres Unidas y Activas, People Organized to Demand Environmental and Economic Rights, Poder is in the House, and of course, home and advocates for children and youth. The last thing that I would say is that I've always believed that what defines us as San Francisco is not how the highest paid workers are doing, people living in, Pacific Heights and those parts of town. What defines us is how the low-wage workers are doing, how we treat the people who have the least. Do we want to be defined as a city where half of the workers do not make minimum wage? I don't think we want to be defined as that city. Do we want to be defined as the kind of city where only 3% of the workers get health care? San Francisco is better than that. And that is why I'm proud to be working with Supervisor Mar to follow his leadership to make sure that we not only strengthen what we have, that we properly fund agencies that need to do the work that needs to be done, but that we also create new legislation. Let's get, as CPA is saying, let's get a low-wage worker Bill of Rights in San Francisco. Let's pass laws that protect our workers. Y a los trabajadores que están aquí, quiero decirles que nosotros, los 4 supervisores que estamos aquí con ustedes, vamos a luchar para que los derechos de los trabajadores sean protegidos. Vamos a luchar para que se les respete, para que se les trate con dignidad. Así que muchas gracias por estar aquí. Thank you very much. And lastly, I want to say that we need to make sure that we come back, whether it's a few months, a few weeks, a year, to make sure that we can stand in this room again and say, we did not let this stand. We did not let this happen. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Supervisor Mar and Supervisor Campos. And yes, we did want to recognize Supervisor John Avalos is here today. A lot of the recommendations we have, they're not going to just happen out of thin air. They're going to require political will, and they're going to require money. And we're here to say, we need to spend the money. And Supervisor Avalos has been the champion on the front lines of fighting for revenue generation in the city and making sure that those with more resources are putting their fair share into the economy. So thank you, Mr. Avalos. So we're going to close out with a couple of our community allies sharing their reactions to this report, and I'd like to invite up, first of all, Reverend Norman Fong with the Chinatown Community Development Center.
My dad worked, I'm a third generation San Francisco Chinatown kid. My dad worked in many restaurants, and he always told me as a little kid to leave a big tip because the restaurant workers get too little, right? And my dad also taught me not to cause too much trouble. That's just the way it is in Chinatown. My uncle was vice president of Local 2, Larry Town. And I've got arrested for New Izzy and the hotel workers, I don't know how many times, but there's been a contradiction because in my own community, this is happening. There's good reasons and there's bad reasons. So I'm depending on you, David Chu, to help me work with the establishment. Family associations own 1/3 of Chinatown. They charge so much rent. That's what's happening to her restaurant. It's complicated. Do we get our fair share from all the tourists that come to San Francisco? There's a lot of reasons for this. But anyway, today we're about stirring it up a little bit. And the reporter that I talked to thought that nothing's really going to happen from this. I don't believe that. You don't believe that, right? I think we're going to make some big changes, right, Alex? We're here, and the media can help a lot. Because when we exposed the SRO living conditions 10 years ago, families squeezed the SROs, the media helped us, and San Francisco responded. The Board of Soups, even the mayor. Oh, I said that. I shouldn't say it like that. Even the mayor decided to make changes for people, families living in SROs. It's time now. We'll go to economic. We're going to do it. We're going to get the establishment involved. I won't name too many names, but we got to work it out. We can be creative. I'm sure we're here for a better Chinatown and a better San Francisco, and I feel it coming. My dad might say, it's hard to change, but in honor of my dad, I think it's time that we fought for a change. So are you with me? Are you with CPA? And these brave workers, we got documentation, right? We got political will. Now it's time to make it happen. Okay?
Next, I'd like to invite Araceli Iñiguez from the Colectiva de Mujeres, the Women's Collective. share her experience.
Estoy aquí porque creo que debemos participar en asuntos públicos de la comunidad para poder obtener justicia social. Debemos luchar con acciones específicas, no contra el gobierno, sino presentando soluciones para que los cambios no nos afecten como comunidad.
I'm here because we need to participate in the political problems of our community, to obtain social justice, and to fight with concrete actions, not against the government, but to present solutions that the government can help us achieve and improve the conditions in our community.
Debemos organizarnos para que nuestras voces se escuchen aún a través de las fronteras del idioma.
We need to organize ourselves so that our voices can be heard, even beyond the limits of language and different languages.
Es por eso que la Raza Centro Legal, el Day Labor Programa y la colectiva de mujeres estamos en solidaridad con los trabajadores asiáticos, porque de igual manera la comunidad latina sufre por problemas de salarios no pagados.
That's why the Raza Centro Legal, the Day Labor Program, and the Women's Collective are standing here today in solidarity with the Asian workers, because our community, the Latino community, also experiences unpaid wages and wage theft.
Nosotros seguiremos colaborando con la Asociación Progresista China, el CPA, para terminar los abusos hacia los trabajadores en general. Debemos unirnos y hacer valer nuestros derechos. Sí se puede. Sí.
We want to continue to collaborate with the Chinese Progressive Association to stop these abuses that our workers are facing. United, we can make our rights felt, realize our rights. Sí se puede. Sí se So you've heard today from workers, from research partners, from elected officials, from community allies. We know the problem is serious, and we know that it's a problem that doesn't just affect Chinatown. There may be 2,000, 3,000 workers in Chinatown restaurants, but this is a problem that millions of workers across the country are facing. As Supervisor Chu mentioned, we are in the worst economic recession the country in my lifetime has ever happened. And this economic recovery this so-called economic recovery, is not benefiting the folks at the very bottom. The economic recovery will never be complete as long as job growth continues to happen only in low-wage industries. A recent report showed that while job losses were concentrated in middle and higher wage industries, the new job growth that has replaced it is all in the low-wage sectors. The top 3 jobs that have been created in the last 7 months pay wages that are under $10 an hour. How can our economy ever recover fully when we continue to have conditions where 95% of the workers in a given community don't earn enough to pay their basic living expenses? So we're here today to say CPA wants to address the problem in Chinatown, but we also want to address the problem that's affecting workers in general. We see it as a global problem, but we're going to start here locally in San Francisco. And that's why we joined together with our ally organizations, as Supervisor Campos mentioned, to form the San Francisco Progressive Workers Alliance with our platform, the Low-Wage Worker Bill of Rights. And I'm going to have Alan talk us through it.
咁我哋工人低收入嘅權益宣言咧係有5個嘅。
So we have 5 demands to our Low-Wage Worker Bill of Rights.
第一，維持工人嘅權益，執行勞工法。
The first one is protect workers' rights, enforce the labor laws.
第二，支持負責任嘅商業。
Secondly, support responsible employers.
第三，就業機會同埋培訓。
3, create job opportunities and job training.
第四，維持社會福利。
4, protect our social safety net.
第五，平等對待。
Number 5, equal treatment for all workers.
咁呢個就係我哋低收入工人權益5個宣言啦。咁我哋而家想發啲明信片，你哋支持我哋5個 思源好唔好啊？
Okay, so yes in Chinese is ho. Okay, well you asked a question, so we're gonna ask a question now. She wants to know, I've explained the Low-Wage Worker Bill of Rights, 5 demands. Are you with us? Do you support it? And we're gonna pass out some postcards for folks to sign.
咁如果係好嘅，咁大家支持啦，簽名啦。
Okay, so well if you support it, then I need you to sign this postcard to show your support. And we're gonna start passing out copies of the executive summary of our report for folks who want to take a look at it. And upon request, we can get you copies of a full report. So folks are passing out the postcards, and as we pass out postcards and copies of the report, I just want to give a special appreciation to the folks who made this project possible in terms of financial support. So we want to thank NIOSH, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, the California Endowment, Unite Here Local 2, the Transport Workers Union, that's the Muni Drivers Union, and Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders in Philanthropy, APIP, for their financial support of this project. And hold on, we're not quite done yet. We're passing out postcards. Some of you are signing them to yourself. That's all good. But you should sign them. We appreciate that support.
好多謝大家今日參加我哋呢個記者發佈會。咁我哋到呢度係結束㗎啦。咁我哋有啲美食，所俾啲美食係我哋工人委員會有部分係我哋自己整㗎。咁請大家一陣間煎好餅，就呢度嚟食我哋啲美食啦。
So we're coming to a close of our event today. We are having a reception upstairs with some refreshments. Some of them were prepared by hand by the works committee members themselves. So we invite you, when you finish signing your postcards and turning them in, to take the stairs in the back to the 5th floor and enjoy some refreshments upstairs on the 5th floor. Thank you, everybody, and we'd like to invite the reporters and press who are here to stay for interviews with our worker leaders and research partners and anybody else we'd like to talk to. So if you want to come up to the stage, folks who are with the media, we are doing interviews now. Thank you. All right, thank you very much, everybody. Can we hear one final round of applause for the worker leaders who, from start to finish, conducted these interviews with workers, and organizing the fight for justice, and to all the workers in Chinatown who are courageously standing up for their rights. Thank you.
Richard!
多謝你支持你哋全部嘅評級票交翻嚟俾我哋啦。
You want to stay for upstairs? Yeah.